The wait for Sony's next major leap in video-centric mirrorless technology may soon be over. With a wave of uncertainty clouding the future of the A7 series lineup and ongoing delays surrounding other alpha models, all eyes are now turning toward what could be Sony's most strategically important release of the coming year, the Sony A7S IV. Not only because it's overdue, but because it makes the most sense for Sony to recapture ground in the hybrid video market, where rivals are making bold strides. For several years, the A7S lineup has held a special place among creators seeking robust low-light video performance in a compact body. The A7S III, released in 2020, was an outstanding performer that nailed the basics of 4K video with solid color reproduction, efficient codecs, and real-time autofocus. However, the landscape has shifted rapidly since then. Panasonic, Canon, and Nikon have launched aggressively spec'd cameras, some even dipping into the 8K and RAW video territories. For Sony to remain the brand of choice for serious videographers and hybrid shooters, it must now offer a camera that not only builds upon its previous success, but redefines the standard. What's making the A7S IV such a focal point is not just the fact that it's due, it's that Sony currently lacks a new offering in this specific niche. The A7R and A7C series have seen updates, the FX line has expanded, and even the flagship A1 is on its way to a second generation. Meanwhile, the A7S series, which sits uniquely between cinema and consumer hybrid models, has been left untouched. Given that the A7S III has remained unchallenged within Sony's own ecosystem for nearly 5 years, it's becoming increasingly clear that an update is not just possible, it's necessary. Rumors suggest the A7S IV will retain the 12-megapixel full-frame sensor philosophy that defined the series, favoring large individual pixels over high resolution to maximize sensitivity and minimize noise. However, Sony is unlikely to deliver the same sensor again. Instead, expect a refined backside illuminated sensor design with improved efficiency, possibly even leveraging new stacked architecture or global shutter innovations already seen in other Sony releases like the A9 III. These changes could translate into better signal-to-noise ratio, enhanced high ISO usability, and improved dynamic range, all hallmarks that A7S users rely on for night shoots, concert films, or run-and-gun documentary work. Another area where Sony will likely push boundaries is video resolution and frame rate. While the A7S III topped out at 4K 120 FPS, the A7S IV is expected to include 6K recording capabilities at 60 FPS, unlocking greater flexibility in cropping and post-production workflows. Some industry chatter also suggests the possibility of 4K at 240 frames per second for extremely fluid slow-motion footage, a feature that would give the A7S IV a decisive edge in sports and action filmmaking. These formats, if implemented, would necessitate robust internal cooling and the use of CF Express Type B cards to handle data rates without compression artifacts or overheating. Of course, performance improvements won't stop at resolution alone. Sony's next-gen Bionz XR image processor is expected to power the A7S IV, potentially coupled with AI-based enhancements derived from the company's recent R&D across its Alpha series. Autofocus will likely receive a substantial upgrade. Real-time eye AF and object tracking, already considered top-tier, could become even more responsive with the integration of Sony's AI subject recognition system, first introduced in the A7RV. Expect faster, smarter focusing, even in challenging lighting conditions or erratic motion, which is especially important for solo creators or those working without focus-pulling teams. Color science is another area where Sony may address long-standing feedback. While the A7S III made strides in delivering more accurate skin tones and warmer color palettes, the A7S IV could introduce expanded support for custom LUTs, in-camera color grading tools, and refined tonal curves that reduce reliance on post-processing. Sony has increasingly acknowledged that many creators want consistent, film-like output straight out of the camera, especially when working on tight deadlines. One of the more exciting possibilities is the inclusion of improved stabilization. Sony's active mode already offers commendable performance for handheld shooting, but the A7S IV is rumored to enhance this further through better sensor shift mechanisms, combined with predictive AI stabilization. This hybrid approach could minimize jitter and compensate for roll, tilt, and yaw even more effectively, bringing gimbal-like performance without the hardware. If executed well, this feature alone could make the camera indispensable to independent creators, YouTubers, and travel filmmakers alike. Design-wise, we may not see a radical departure from the A7S III chassis. However, subtle ergonomic improvements are expected. Reports hint at a deeper grip for extended comfort, a repositioned joystick for faster control, and possibly even a slightly larger viewfinder or rear LCD panel. Weather sealing and heat management will be priorities, especially if the A7S IV pushes higher frame rates and resolution internally. With content creation increasingly moving toward live streaming and remote production, the A7S IV could be the first in its class to offer Wi-Fi 6E or even 5G tethering via mobile integration. HDMI 2.1 is also likely to support higher bandwidth output for external 8K recording or 4K at 120 frames per second with 10-bit 422. Such features could redefine mobile broadcasting workflows and on-location production setups. In terms of battery life, the NPFZ100 battery has performed well across the Alpha lineup, but a modest improvement may be in store. Whether through firmware optimization or an upgraded power cell, possibly dubbed the Z2 type, we can expect a 20 to 30% increase in real-world usage. Pricing is expected to start at around $4,000, placing it roughly $500 higher than its predecessor. While that figure may seem steep, it aligns with the camera's evolving role as a hybrid solution catering to serious video professionals and high-end content creators. The A7S IV won't be a budget camera, but then again, it's not trying to be. Instead, it aims to offer best-in-class tools in a portable, user-friendly body that bridges the gap between Sony's FX Cinema line and its more photography-focused Alpha models. Several factors converge to make its release almost inevitable. Firstly, the FX3 and FX30A, Sony's cinema-leaning compact cameras, have begun to saturate their niche. Secondly, the A7V's delay to late 2025 leaves a gap in the enthusiast market that Sony needs to fill. Thirdly, competition has intensified. Canon's R5C offers serious RAW video features, and Panasonic's recent release, Lumix S12, has surprised many with its versatility and color fidelity. If Sony wishes to retain its reputation as the innovator in this space, releasing the A7S IV is not a matter of if, but when. In a broader sense, the A7S IV could represent a shift in Sony's mirrorless roadmap. Rather than simply chasing megapixels or leaning entirely into cinema territory, Sony seems poised to double down on hybrid innovation, where speed, usability, video depth, and portability meet. The A7S IV would embody this new direction. So, are you excited about this upcoming camera? Share with us in the comments section below. Subscribe for more content like this. And as always, thanks for watching.